Color feels like one of the most obvious parts of reality. It's as familiar as traffic lights on a busy road or the bright label on your favorite snack. But what if everything you think you're seeing is just your brain's interpretation of light? Imagine opening your eyes to a world where nothing has color, yet everything still looks meaningful. Imagine learning that red, blue, and green are more like subtitles added by your brain than properties of the world. And imagine discovering that reality may be much stranger than what you've always believed. Big quests, simple answers, endless curiosity. Hi Questers, welcome to Quest Hut. Let's explore the science behind the big quests. Everywhere you look, light shapes what you see. It's like a projector shining onto the world, deciding what appears bright, dark, warm, or cool. But the colors you think you're seeing are not actually out there. We treat a red apple like it owns its redness, the same way a cup owns its shape. We treat a green field like green is part of the grass itself. These assumptions feel natural because we grow up believing them. But imagine a world where the apple is just bouncing certain wavelengths, like a mirror returning only specific notes of a song. Imagine the sky scattering light like a giant atmospheric filter. Suddenly, the idea of inherent color starts to fall apart. Color isn't something objects carry, like paint in a bucket. It's something your brain paints onto your experience. The world outside is illuminated, not decorated. Light arrives as tiny packets of energy called photons. Think of them like messengers carrying different notes instead of colors. Your brain turns these invisible notes into vivid experiences. So, light itself has no color. It's like music written in a language only your brain knows how to interpret. Color appears only after the translation happens inside your mind. Light is electromagnetic radiation, the same family that brings Wi-Fi, microwaves, and X-ray scans. They're all siblings on one continuous spectrum. What separates them is the length of their waves. Long wavelengths act like slow, gentle waves on a beach carrying less energy. Short wavelengths crash like quick, sharp ripples carrying more energy. This single difference shapes everything from radio stations to sunlight. Stretch a wavelength long enough and it becomes radio. Shorten it and it transforms into microwaves and then infrared. Keep shrinking and you reach the slice our eyes can actually detect. Visible light is that tiny sliver. If the electromagnetic spectrum were stretched across Earth, the part you and I can see would be no wider than a grain of sand. And yet, that grain contains every sunset you've ever witnessed. Within that window lie wavelengths from about 400 to 700 nanometers. Near 400, the brain interprets them as violet. Near 700, as red. Every rainbow falls within this microscopic range. But the twist is this: none of these colors exist in the wavelengths themselves. They're more like ingredients waiting for the chef, your brain, to turn them into flavor. The raw material is purely physical, but the experience is psychological. Imagine shining a flashlight on a leaf. The leaf absorbs most wavelengths, like a sponge soaking up water. Only a specific band reflects back into your eyes. Your visual system reads that reflected band. The brain then labels the experience as green, similar to tagging a file on your computer. A tomato reflects longer wavelengths, prompting your brain to label the result as red. Now change the lighting and the color changes too. Under bright daylight, the leaf seems richly green, but sunset light contains more long wavelengths, shifting the leaf toward yellowish tones. The leaf didn't change, your lighting did. Under dim moonlight, your cone cells barely receive enough energy to work. The leaf fades almost entirely into gray because now rods dominate your vision. If greenness lived inside the leaf, no amount of darkness could drain it. The illusion becomes unmistakable. Color doesn't belong to the object reflecting the light. It belongs to the brain interpreting the light. Inside your retina are millions of photoreceptors. Most are rods, the night shift workers of your vision system. They operate in near darkness, but cannot sense color. Cones take over during the day when light is bright enough. They need more energy, but offer color perception in return. They're like high-definition sensors compared to the rod's black and white mode. Humans have 3 types of cones. One leans toward shorter wavelengths, another toward medium, and the last toward longer. They act like 3 overlapping microphones listening to different ranges of the same song. But each cone listens to a wide band, not a single note. Multiple wavelengths activate them at once. No cone detects a specific, isolated color. Each cone simply reports how loudly it hears its part of the wavelength song. On their own, they give only fragments of information. The magic happens in how the brain compares them. Color arises from these comparisons. The brain looks at the ratio between the 3 signals and constructs the final experience. It's like blending 3 ingredients to create thousands of flavors. There is no yellow cone. Yellow emerges when the red-leaning and green-leaning cones fire in a particular balance. The brain recognizes that ratio pattern and decides this is yellow. So, every color you've ever seen is created from pattern recognition. No object or wavelength contains the full experience. Color is a neural conclusion, not a physical property. And because the brain constructs color, perceptions vary. Some people have different cone types or fewer cones, leading them to see a different palette. What looks like bright red to you might look almost brown to someone else. The famous dress photo shows this perfectly. Some saw blue and black. Others saw white and gold. Their brains made different assumptions about the lighting, just like adjusting white balance in a camera. The dress didn't change at all. The interpretation changed. The brain filled in the missing information differently for each person. Screens reveal this secret clearly. Every image you see on your phone is made of tiny red, green, and blue lights. They work like 3 knobs on a music mixer, creating millions of colors from simple adjustments. Screens don't show real colors. They speak the same trichromatic language your brain already uses. Your mind does the blending. Now, think about lasers. A laser emits only a single, very pure wavelength, like hearing a single perfect note with no background sound. That purity can feel almost unnatural. The brain rarely encounters such precise signals in the real world. Natural light sources are messy mixtures, not perfect spikes. This is why laser colors feel so intense and strange. So, what is color? It is the brain's labeling system for wavelengths, not a physical feature built into objects. It's a tool shaped by evolution to help us survive in a world full of light. The world outside your mind contains light and reflectance, not color. The world inside your mind turns those raw signals into vivid experiences. Your eyes measure wavelengths, but your brain creates meaning. In the end, your brain paints your reality. Color is not a property of nature, but a product of perception. It's the mind's way of turning physics into experience. Every answer opens another quest, and that's the beauty of science. Until next time, stay curious with Quest Hut.